Good morning, Lindy. Welcome to Salam Media, the mid-morning talk. My name is Fasiha Davids for our viewers and listeners back home. Today I'm interviewing Lindy, who has 30 years experience in social justice development and international politics. She has worked with parliament, government, international funders, non-profits and civil society, and led a team of change makers committed to positive advancement and social development for 17 years. She now runs a wellness center and yoga studio, Ananda Sanctuary in Hoodstock, and is a mother of twins. She joined the Global March to Gaza and is now organizing for the global movement to Gaza, with 44 countries participating, with a flotilla of boats sailing on the 31st of August from Barcelona, uh, from Tunisia on the 4th of September to break the siege. She is one of the founders of Mothers for Gaza and led the disruption of Emma Powell. Lindy, it's good to have you in our presence this morning. Let's start off with speaking about what drew you personally into the cause of Palestine and specifically into advocating for the children of Gaza.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on here this morning. I think I was called from my heart because as a mother, I have 10-year-old twins, and just to see the absolutely unparalleled extreme cruelty and deprivation that is being perpetrated on the citizens of Gaza and of Palestine was something that I couldn't turn away from. I couldn't not become involved. I've always been active in different ways in terms of social justice work. But in the last 2 years, I've become completely driven and focused in every way possible to contribute in any way to what is going on there, to try and mitigate and support and just be part of the change that we want to see in the world. So it's not only being a mother, it's also being a human, being a citizen of this world, that knowing that what is going on in Gaza and in Palestine is there are not even words for it anymore. Fasika, I actually don't know what to say anymore. That we continue at this point to see what we do on our social media every day, and the world is not in an absolute uproar because this is so inhumane, it's so unjust, and it cannot be our new normal. I have to be involved. I have to do what I can.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%, Lindy. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. And I think it's such a heartfelt message. And so many mothers back home here in South Africa feels the same way. Like, what can I do? This is suffocating me, seeing the news, seeing the headlines, watching the live videos come out of Gaza. It's absolutely horrifying. I don't think we have, and this is an interesting rampage, but I had this conversation with a friend the other day, and I said, I don't think we have the cognitive ability to fully process what's happening in Gaza right now. Tell us about Mothers for Gaza, how it started, what it stands for, and what kind of practical work it does.
It started off with a disruption. A previous member of Parliament, Emma Powell, was giving a talk at the South African Institute for International Affairs on the 7th of May. And myself and 2 other women, Aisha Baggis and Simone, attended that talk, and we disrupted the talk. And it was unexpected. But some may have seen it, but it generated a lot of discussion, and in a way it springboarded Mothers for Gaza. And I think it empowered me personally to find my own voice, because up until that point, I was feeling like there was a lot of diminishing of speaking out, and whenever I tried to speak out, there was like, you can't speak about it, and there was a lot of suppression, I felt. And for me personally, speaking up and calling Emma Powell to account, and saying that there was a genocide in Gaza. And, where was she? Where was the fact-finding mission? It was, in fact, a fact-finding mission. It was biased. And calling that up in a way empowered me also to find my voice. And I think that this is one thing I want to say to anybody who's feeling frustrated and unable to speak their truth and feeling frustrated as what they're seeing, is just start to get involved, start to speak up, claim back the power of your voice to speak your truth, that that this is something that we cannot stand for. And so following on from that disruption, Mothers for Gaza was born, and it started off with a few smaller actions, and it has grown and grown and grown from there, to be something that has drawn a lot of positive attention, and has really become quite involved and active in the solidarity space, particularly in Cape Town. There was a march yesterday on the promenade in Sea Point, which was spearheaded by the Palestine Solidarity Campaign. But Mothers for Gaza was one of the organizations that was active there. And it has a wonderful breadth of women that are part of this collective, this Cape Town-based collective of mothers and women, just all standing up for Palestinian mothers and children that are suffering in Gaza. So there are various things involved. I'd encourage anybody to go onto the Mothers for Gaza Instagram page and follow us there. It's Mothers for Gaza, and all the actions and activities are shared on that page. Basically, Mothers for Gaza represents a sort of moral outcry against what is happening to the Palestinians. And we don't need to go into detail, but I mean, it's imperative, the enduring violence, the starvation, the genocide, the family loss, the abuse, the unprecedented moral and human violence perpetrated on them is something that we stand up outraged against. So we also stand in solidarity in terms of South Africa's own history of oppression. So there's a very clear link to the South African historical context and women in South Africa that also continue and are still to this day not able to live the life that our Constitution supposedly offers us. And it's also an urgent call. So Mothers for Gaza is also an urgent call for humanitarian action and for international accountability, and a focus on a peace-oriented solution to what is going on there. So it's a movement, it's a collective of women, and we all just together finding our voice, finding our courage, standing up for humanity. I think we want to counter the framing of anybody that is pro-Palestine is violent extremists. I think Emma Powell described us as violent extremists. I mean, I'm not a violent extremist, as the other kind of negative narrative around Hamas. And we are just every woman. We are every person standing in solidarity.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I think you touched on some pivotal points there, specifically womanhood, right? And the power of solidarity amongst women. And I think to honor where we are as South African women right now in Women's Month, it's so important for us to draw those parallels. That the freedom that some of us can celebrate in South Africa is the freedom that has been stripped away from mothers in Gaza. And also for a lot of women in South Africa as well. The reality is there is a more silent war on women here when it comes to gender-based violence. There's been outcries locally as well. We know that there's so many patriarchal structures that still exist within our own country for the fight for liberation, but more broadly so, in the Middle East. And not to take away from what's happening in Palestine, but really just drawing those parallels and appreciating the difficulty that we face as women, I think, all around the world, and emphasizing that call and that need for solidarity. And it's amazing that when women use their voices, they are so categorized, and characterized by the public or by other parties involved, as if we need permission to speak our truth. And so this is really empowering, I think, for Mothers for Gaza and for mothers locally to join in on your organization. I want us to bring the focus to Gaza's children. And I mean, what's happening right now, matters has escalated and intensified in Palestine with recent Al Jazeera reports that came out yesterday. Israel's military has stepped up attacks on Gaza City as part of its expanded operations aimed at seizing the last major population center, which is forcing now tens of thousands of starving Palestinians to flee again. And we know most of them are also women and children from the statistics that has been recently released. What can we, I mean, if there's a message for people who may not be too familiar with what's happening to children in Gaza right now and the conditions that they are being submerged under, what can we share with them? What do you have to say on that, Lindy?
Sure. I think the experience, I've come to the point now where I have to actually move quickly through my social media, because certain things are just so deeply traumatizing.
Yeah.
And I'm not even there.
Mm.
I'm just witnessing it.
Mm.
So I think we just need to look on our social media. I think one can't even, I think it's a crime against humanity. It's the most unparalleled violence against the most innocent.
Yeah.
And that more people are not speaking up and are not finding in their own heart. I can't understand. But I'm just trusting and praying and hoping that there we can see a way through this, because it feels like that there's not a lot of time. And I really want to encourage everybody, if you haven't yet found your voice, your way to stand up, please do. Please get active. Please. It's not enough anymore just to be on social media. You need to join marches, donate, join a local movement, write about it. Do a little bit of research, find whatever way you can to get involved, to get active, because each of us can play a role at this particular point. It really is so, so, so crucial. There's a reason why there are no more journalists active in Gaza. And over 272 journalists that we know of assassinated by the IOF, targeted specifically in order to avoid the truth coming out. I mean, without a doubt, the IOF, the Israeli occupation force, wants to make sure that there is as little evidence and we don't have access to what is going on there. So we absolutely have to dig deep and find ways to become involved in whatever way we can to try and stop this massive injustice. And there are many ways that we can get involved. And if you're not naturally wanting to get out and get active, you can donate. You can support another person that's involved. But please, just to ask everybody listening today to please find some way to do something each day for those in Gaza, in whatever you can, to try and just, find a way to stop this horror, and to stop, to do whatever we can to try and be part of the change we want to see in the world. We can't accept that this is our new normal.
100%. Lindy, that was really powerful and incredibly emotional. I mean, I was getting goosebumps as you were speaking, and I think viewers and listeners at home are feeling the same way. On that note, I think it's time we call for a short ad break, and let's recoup after that.
Are your financial goals feeling out of reach? Yasin Badat Financial Advisory is here to turn your aspirations into achievements. Our dedicated team, armed with a history of success, is ready to guide you through the complex nature of financial and investment planning. Whether you're a seasoned investor or new to the game, our personalized solutions cater to your unique goals and risk appetite. Trust in our commitment to transparency, integrity, and excellence. Ready to unlock a world of financial freedom? Partner with us today. Call Yasin Badat Financial Advisory at +27333462071 or visit www.yasinbadat.com. Yasin Badat Financial Advisory, guiding you to financial success.
They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, yet many children go to school hungry because of poverty. Penny Appeal South Africa's Breakfast Club aims to get a warm, hearty meal to underprivileged children so they can spend their day prospering in their schoolwork. Help feed a needy learner for only 5 Rand a day, or 150 Rand a month. Or visit our website www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573 to find out how you can donate. Penny Appeal South Africa. Small change, big difference. When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Albeit Lodge, your true home away from home. Albeit is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Albeit has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albeitlodge.co.za.
Abu Huraira narrated that he heard the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, say, "In black seed there is a healing for every disease except death." Experience the health benefits of this ancient blessed seed by using the Tib Black Seed range. Black seed assists the body to boost immunity, regulate blood sugar levels, reduce inflammation, and act as a potent antioxidant. Experience a holistic approach to health by introducing the Tib Black Seed range into your routine. Available in capsules, pure cold-pressed oil, and a vapor rub. Trust Tib Health Sciences for quality black seed products. For more information, visit blackseed.co.za. Available at leading pharmacies.
Hey, Gulam.
Yeah?
Did I return your lawnmower last month?
No, bye, you didn't.
Oh, no. Now what'll I do? I wanted to borrow it again, man.
With Randry Jewelers, you won't have to borrow or lend because the prices are so well trimmed on all gold and diamond jewelry. Alternatively, we could remake your old jewelry into a brilliant new design. Visit Randry Jewelers at 151 Stevens Lamini Road, Musgrave, Durban. Randry Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning. If you just joined us, you are tuned into the mid-morning talk, and I'm Fasih Hadovitz. I'm your guest presenter for this week. We are speaking to Lindy Bringinshaw, activist with Mothers for Gaza, also a member of Citizen for Justice. Lindy, again, thank you so much for being with us. For listeners who just joined us, if we can just recap for them, we spoke about the atrocities happening in Gaza right now. We spoke about the call and the model outcry that Mothers for Gaza rather stands for. And where they can get hold of you on Instagram. I believe it was Mothers for Gaza. Perhaps you can also just share that with listeners and viewers again. Just before the ad break, we touched on quite an emotional note, and you spoke about that empowerment and us kind of all finding our voices and using it for Gaza in some type of way. Many people will say during this time that we feel helpless watching this all unfold, and so perhaps we can share some words of encouragement for mothers back home here in South Africa.
Thank you, Fasiha. I think definitely we stand in solidarity, and even if you're not a mother, even if you're a sister or an aunt or a grandmother, your voice has power, and your maternal instincts and your ability to care for another is something that, every child in the world we can feel for other children that, are suffering, that in whatever way. And it's not only the children in Gaza, there's children in other countries that are also, living in a way that is deplorable. So I think that the opportunity to stand together in solidarity with other women, with other mothers, and do what we can, whether it be joining a protest, joining a women's circle, being part of a community that is speaking up, donating in solidarity, writing to your member of parliament, researching the history of Palestine, informing yourself, becoming, more cognizant of the world that we live in, and less framed by some of the propaganda and the hasbara that is imposed on us, and becoming an active citizen. I think all those things speak to our empowerment also as women, and stepping into that power, and being part of the change we want to see in the world, being contributors to a better world for all of our children. And just to encourage our listeners to get involved. Mothers for Gaza is very active on Instagram. It's Mothers and then the number 4 Gaza. You can follow on Instagram and find out more about activities and local actions. The Palestine Solidarity Campaign is also very, very active in different actions in Cape Town. There's also groups active in Gauteng and in KZN. And I think, there are ways to get involved. And it's just about, just doing a little bit of research, asking a friend, trying to find ways to, to show your solidarity and your care.
Thank you, Lindy, and thank you for shining your light as a mom, as a sister. You play so many roles as well in your personal life as a woman, and I think that really resonates with so many women back home. Moving from local actions to global actions, I know you're an activist, an all-rounder on the scenes, and maybe you want to share a bit with listeners and viewers about the Freedom Flotillas and your views on that.
Thank you for that. Yes, I was part of the global march to Gaza that departed from Cairo and attempted to make it to Gaza to break the siege a few months ago. And now I'm involved with other South Africans and many other internationals as well. There's over 44 countries participating in the global movement to Gaza, which is a combination of the global Samud Flotilla, the Samud Nasantara, and the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, and the Maghreb Samud Flotilla. So those are 4 different movements that have come together, and they are sailing, departing from Spain on the 31st of this month, literally about 2 weeks' time, sailing to break the siege. There's also boats departing from Spain, and there are going to be, I don't know the exact number, but there's 44 countries participating with delegates and individuals from all of these different countries on these different boats, maybe up to 30, 40 boats that are going to be sailing towards Gaza to break the siege. The boats are carrying, medical supplies, solidarity crews, nutritional aid, and they really are, it's an international global movement of ordinary people and activists sailing to Gaza to raise awareness and continue to place the center stage on the global agenda that the siege has to be broken. And I would encourage everybody to follow the global movement to Gaza, the global Samud Flotilla, and really kind of show your support, because what's going to be really important for all of those humanitarians and activists and ordinary citizens that are on those boats is that we, as in our respective countries, are supporting and keeping our eye on that. We are sharing on social media. We are really putting front and center the safety and the the intention of the flotilla in breaking the siege, because if we get as many people behind this as possible, it will have a significant positive impact. And I really would encourage everybody to follow the Instagram page for the Global Movement to Gaza. The South African one is Global Movement to Gaza.rsa. I'll repeat that, Global Movement to Gaza.rsa. And there's delegations and there are boats from 44 countries involved. You're going to be seeing it very, very much in the next few weeks on social media, and just please get behind and support as much as you can. This is a really, really important and crucial initiative at this point in time, given the local situation and the escalated aggression by Israel. It's really, really important that this flotilla is supported and is, that we have all eyes and support behind it. May I just also mention that we are, anybody wishing to donate to the BackaBuddy campaign will find the link on the Global Movement to Gaza RSA Instagram page for that if you wish to support.
Thank you so much, Lindy, for sharing that with our listeners and viewers this morning. So that's Global Movement to Gaza.rsa on Instagram, and then Mothers for Gaza on Instagram if viewers and listeners want to get involved. Finally, what message from Mothers for Gaza do you have for mothers in Gaza? You know, if they could hear you right now, what's one message that you'd like to drive home to Gaza?
We are determined. We are unequivocally behind you. We will not forget. We will not step away. We are resilient. We are 100% behind you. And whatever this takes, please just, remain hopeful. And there's an absolute international commitment behind you. And we send love. And we just absolutely are behind you in every possible way.
Thank you for that, Lindy. It's so emotional. I mean, and this was quite an emotional interview as well, but so necessary. And I'm so grateful that we had this chance and this time to engage with each other. And I know that listeners and viewers at home feel the same way. This was Lindy Bringinshaw, activist with Mothers for Gaza, also a member of Citizen for Justice. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I just correct you? Not Citizens for Justice, Global Movement to Gaza.
Global Movement to Gaza. Thank you for that,
Gaza
Lindy.
And Mothers for Gaza. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindy. Cheers.